everyone and welcome back to Being Bethany. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about some small steps that I'm going to be setting myself for April in order to change my habits so I can improve my mental health. And I'm also going to be talking about why I do think small steps are important and what to do if perhaps you feel the pressure of all the goals that you set, what to strip it back to. But before we get started, please hit that subscribe button, join the community of small steppers where we appreciate everyone for whatever they're doing and for all the small steps that they're taking. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 100 subscribers, so please join. It would be lovely, lovely to have you. So today is Wednesday the 31st of March and this video will be going out today, which means tomorrow is April. Now if you haven't already watched my bullet journal video, which I will link up above, every month I do something called a monthly migration. So what happens is I set up my calendar page for April and then I set up any jobs that I want to get done, any things I need to remember and any goals that I would like to set for myself. So I thought today I would share what I'm going to be setting for April in the hopes that it might inspire you to do the same, but really just to get you thinking about any small steps that you can take. And what I'm focusing on mainly are small steps to improve my mental health. Because as I've been making these videos as well, I've noticed some small things in my day or things that I do which perhaps aren't so helpful. So I wanted to set some little challenges for myself with no pressure in order to really look at what can help with my mental health. So I just wanted to share them with you. So my first one would be, if you watched, I believe it was last week's video, I mentioned, and it wasn't sponsored or anything, that I had seen that the app Balance, which is a meditation app, was giving away a year's free trial, 1 year's free trial. So I jumped on that and I had been using it at the time for a week, I think nearly, consecutively. And what it does is it starts you learning how to meditate and you're guided through. And it's only short, like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And there's also a sleep part to that as well. So I've been using the sleep part to help me get to sleep because if you don't already know, I really struggle. And I have done a video about tips about getting to sleep as well. So yes, I've been using that and then I dropped off a little bit and didn't use it as much. But my first small step for April is to meditate every day. Now, why do I think this will be good for my mental health? Well, meditation really focuses on your breathing and staying calm and staying kind of present, and any pesky thoughts that come, it's a way of kind of acknowledging them and then letting them go again, which I think is really important, and I think it's really going to help me with my anxiety. So when I had used it consecutively for a week or so, and like I said, I had dropped off a little bit as well, I've been trying to do it in the morning. Now, I think what's important with goals is sometimes to get a bit specific. So I'm going to meditate every day in the morning. Now I could set myself a time, but I'm not really in a routine. My days are quite different, which again could be something I look at later on in the year, but I know it's going to be in the morning because, and perhaps after my morning routine of, you know, waking up, getting ready, having breakfast, and then before I start my tasks in the day or before I go to work, I've been doing it before I go to work, just do a meditation. So that's my first small step because I think that's something I can manage, and because you can choose the time of the meditation, and at the moment as I'm only starting to learn, they're like 3-5 minutes. I think that's a perfect amount to fit into my day without it being too overwhelming. So that's my first small step for April. Now my second small step, which I think is going to improve my mental health, is going to be focused on sleep. Sleep is so important for everyone, regardless of if you have a mental health condition or not. If you don't get enough sleep, and if that's an ongoing issue, that's really going to affect all areas of your life and actually maybe exacerbate your mental health condition as well. I know for me, if I'm underslept, which can be quite often, I can get quite emotional, I can get quite down, stresses get to me more, I think, if I'm underslept. So what I'm going to do, and I have talked about this in my sleep videos, but I'm setting it as a proper challenge to stick to now, is to make sure I read before I go to bed and to be off my phone at least an hour before bed. Now, there's a slight catch to that because I will be using the sleep part of my Balance app to help myself get to sleep, which will mean I'll have to quickly go on my phone to set that up before I go to bed. So, slight little glitch to that, but I am really going to try and do that. That is my challenge. Because I have really noticed a difference on the nights that I have used my phone, especially if I've laid in bed with the lights off and I'm scrolling on my phone. That's actually quite silly of me. To when I have tried to read before bed, put my phone away to the side, I have noticed a difference in how I sleep and how I wake up in the morning as well. And I've just thought, I'm extending that to the morning, that challenge, and I'm going to try and not make that. I'm not going to pick up my phone as the first thing I do in the morning. I'm going to lay with myself and gradually wake up and then get up and do the things I need to do. Yes, so that is another goal that I will set myself, again, because I think it's manageable. I think it's a habit that I can change without completely disrupting my whole life. It's something I can implement. To sum up, yes, my small step will be that an hour before I go to bed, I will put my phone to one side, I will read, I will make sure I write in my bullet journal about anything that I want to remember about this day or plan for the next day, and in the morning, my first thing won't be grabbing my phone. So that is my small step number 2 to improve my mental health. Now my third one and my last one is, I would say, not such a small step. So I think this one will be harder, but I think it's always important to set bigger goals as well. Yes, I talk about small steps, but sometimes, you want to set yourself a bit more of a challenge. So this one is going to be focused on exercise. Now, I had done an exercise compilation video quite a while ago where I tried out different forms of exercise, but I never actually stuck to a routine or a habit of exercise in my life. It will come and it will go, and I really do think lots of people have told me within my family, my boyfriend, friends, how impactful exercise is on your mental health. Depression, anxiety, getting out maybe of the house or even doing it inside. It uses up, I think, for anxiety, lots of that anxious energy. With depression, it helps to boost your mood. Now, sometimes it's not going to be possible. And I have really talked about what an importance walking is as a small step for exercise. And I love walking. However, I don't walk on my own, really. I get scared about that. That might be a separate challenge, but I might do that focus more on that on a different month, because I get very anxious about walking on my own, and then if I'm on my own a lot in the week, I don't really do it. So, but I think exercising on my own will be a similar vein to that, so I think it will all link. But I think walking is really important, and I think if you can start as your small step, I think that's perfect. For me and where I'm at in my life, I need to step it up more, and I need to do exercises which gets my heart pumping and racing, get a bit of a sweat on, and not focused so much on what body part I want to sort out or losing weight. It's for my mental health. So with that being said, my challenge is, and I have said it before and I haven't stuck to it before, is to exercise 3 times a week. Now, whether or not I start it from this day or start it from the beginning of next week, I have not quite decided yet. I will ponder that after I have filmed this video, so I want to be realistic. But yes, now that can be in the form of a run, it can be in the form of a home workout, a HIIT workout, or just some body exercises like 50 squats and 50 lunges and all that jazz. But the aim is to do something that's a bit more intense and to do it 3 times a week. It doesn't have to take the whole day. It can be 20 minutes and all that jazz. I think if I focused for me on just running or this and that, then I just want to give myself a bit more scope and also to find my exercise as well. So this is a bit of a bigger challenge, but I want to give it my best go because I write every month consistent workout routine. I mean, one, what does that even mean? I really think sometimes you have to get a bit more specific with your goals. And two, I never do it. So that one's going to be harder for me and a bit more planning and a bit more pushing myself. But I think sometimes it is good to add that extra little bigger goal in there. So I will keep you updated with that. But yes, exercise really does help with your mental health, and I haven't had a consistent enough routine with that to really reap the benefits of that as well. So those are my 3 goals for April. But what I would like to talk about now is when sometimes, with all your best intentions, the small steps that you set yourself don't happen. And I want to talk about the pressure that you might feel because of that and what you can do to really help yourself. So basically, a little while ago, I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, I've been having some rough weeks with my mental health, and that's why I really wanted to focus this April on habits that will help my mental health, because I think then that will help me have more energy and I guess some positivity to attack the day. However, last week was quite hard, or the week before. A few weeks have been quite difficult. And I had a day where I planned to do lots of different things and it didn't really happen. And I felt really rubbish about myself. And when that happens is I start getting anxious and I have lots of racing thoughts about not being where I want to be. I get really sad and I spend most of my day in bed and things like that. Which, yeah, it happens sometimes. Regardless of mental health or not, sometimes you're going to have days where it's just not happening. And you know what? That's okay. That's what I wanted the last bit of this film to be about, is yes, it's important to set goals. But why I talk about small steps is because sometimes in your day you will have done things already that you can give yourself credit for and remember to. Because otherwise you spend your day thinking that you have to have done 5 really big things in order to feel like you're worth it, and that's simply not true. You're already worth it. Now, I was going to share a post, and I didn't in the end because old anxious brain got in the way. Ridiculous. But I was going to share a post, and if I could pop it up on the screen, I will, but I'm going to be sharing it to my Instagram later, around 7ish, so you can see it there as well. But basically, it was, I'll read it out to you. Here we go. Let me get my old phone and remember. It was a picture of me in my dressing gown, looking a bit like this. And basically what it said was, so my anxiety and depression won a bit today. I stayed cooped up in the house and I felt bad for not getting a lot done. However, I'm going to flip my perspective and remember the small steps I took today. Number 1, I meditated using an app which I've done daily for a week now. Number 2, I started a new book on a topic I want to learn more of. Number 3, I ate, even if it wasn't the healthiest. Number 4, I had a bath. And number 5, I launched my new Being Bethany video. So this must have been maybe on a Wednesday, last week or the week before. I put, for someone who could stay in bed all day when my head gets too much, I'd say this was a win, and I needed to remind myself that and not let old anxiety head do the talking. Remember your small steps. You're doing amazing. So that's why I think small steps are important. I had a rubbish day, but I flipped my perspective, which can be really hard to do, not easy at all. But I remembered the small steps that I had taken, like I listed there. To someone else, that might be like, that sounds like you didn't do anything that day. But I did. I did do those things. And you know what? When your anxiety and when your depression is hitting you hard, or anything else that you're going through, stress, burnout, any other mental health condition, you should be really proud of yourself that you did those things. There would be days where I wouldn't even be able to get in the shower and have a shower or a bath, and I wouldn't eat anything. But I did those things. I even managed to read a chapter in a book. Oh my goodness, when my depression hits, I can't do that, and I'm still working really hard to regain the ability to read at the level that I used to, because that's changed so much. So I wanted to remind yourself that we can set goals and we should try and be consistent in them. But if one day you fall off and you don't get everything that you want to done, just remember a few little small steps that you did that day. Making your bed, brushing your hair, having a bath, anything. Write them down, look at them, and look how far that you have come that day. And you know what? Even if it's literally you sat up and you got your laptop open on your bed and you watched something, it's still a small step, you know? I just wanted to remind you that, because goals can feel like pressure, but you're doing small steps every day that you might not even be aware of. So if you haven't got your goal that you set done, try and remember the other things that you did and give yourself some blimmin' credit, because you are awesome, you are enough, and you're doing a great job. It's really important to set some goals for yourself, but remember the small steps that you're doing as well. So yes, that's what I wanted to remind you of today, and I wanted to share with you some habits that I'm trying to change, new ones I'm trying to implement for my mental health, in the hope that it might inspire you to have a little think about the things that you would like to do. And remember to do it for you and not for anyone else, and to do something that you really feel will work for you or you feel passionate about. You know, it could be that yours don't focus on mental health. It could be a goal that you want to set for work or school or home life, anything. But what I would say is start off, maybe have a couple of small ones that will be easier to implement. Have some bigger ones if you want to as well, and try and be specific with them. Mine probably could be even more specific. Hopefully, April, I can achieve these things, but even if I achieve one of them, that's still really good. You know, there's always next month, so keep plodding along. I love you guys very, very much, and I'm feeling better today. It has been a rough couple of weeks, but that's okay, and I really, really appreciate all your love and support, and I really do love making these videos. It's given me a little bit of a lifeline to just express myself, because I am quite a creative person, and also I just want to help people. I really do. So I hope you found this helpful. If you haven't already, give me a little cheeky subscribe. That would be really, really kind. I hope everyone has a lovely week, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. The bus is going past, so I'm just gonna wait. That subscribe button. Join the community of small steppers. Some small steps I'm going to be setting myself in April, in order to change some habits, in order to, no, okay, we got this. So an hour before I go to bed, and I'm going to make sure I try and read before I go to bed and write in my bullet journal as well. That's the phone. Hold that thought.